All right, Shalom. This is Brother Mayem coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth. We're diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. Also, Shalom to the Akwathium, who may be learning in quietness and meekness. All right. So I want to do this video here. Okay, and as you can see, the title of the article is U.S. stocks dropped nearly 350 points after release of U.S. manufacturing survey. All right, and 300 points doesn't necessarily dictate a economic collapse or anything of grave urgency to worry about. But what I want to get into is the end story, all right, or along those lines of what to expect from this, because as we here at Great Millstone know, this is about prophecies, all right, prophecies being fulfilled, all right, prophecies that are to come. Salakia, just having a little bit of coffee here in the morning. But as we all know, Babylon the Great, all right, is going to be coming to a quick and utter destruction. Okay, and before that, there's things that are going to be happening, and we all know that those prophecies are going to come to pass. And for those of you that don't know, read Ezekiel 33 verse 33. Okay. So let me just read a little bit into this article, and then we're going to go into the scriptures. All right, I'm going to start here at the top. It says U.S. stocks fall by more than 300 points on Tuesday following the worst report on U.S. manufacturing from the Institute of Supply Management in a decade. All right, it says the Tuesday report from ISM, which is the Institute for Supply Management, the world's oldest and largest supply management association, found that economic activity in the U.S. manufacturing sector, all right, those companies creating stuff. If you don't have an understanding of what the manufacturing sector does, matter of fact, let's just look that up. All right, let's look up exactly what the manufacturing sector does. Says the branch of manufacturing trade processed. All right, this is in the NASA's page. It says manufacturing industry definition: the branch of manufacture, and we're here at the top. It says the branch of manufacturing trade based on the fabrication, processing, or preparation of products from raw materials and commodities. This includes all foods, chemicals, textiles, machines, and equipment. This includes all refined metals and minerals derived from extract ores. This includes all lumber, wood, and pulp products. You see? Now really think about what we just read. Okay, because this is basically the lifeline of, or should I say the bloodline, the pulse of what makes this economy churn here in Babylon. Okay? Think about that. It says this includes all foods, chemicals, textiles, machines, and equipment. This includes all refined metals and minerals derived from extract ores. This includes all lumber, wood, and pulp products. So that's an important industry, all right, that produces not only a lot of products that are used, but as well as those products going to other industries, okay, to further stimulate the economy. Okay, so let's go back to that article now. It says, I'm not going to read that quote. It says, I'm going to just go straight to the next paragraph of the article. It says, this is serious. Chief economist at Deutsche Bank Securities in New York told Reuters Tuesday morning, there is no end in sight to this slowdown. The recession risk is real. All right. It says August was a rough month for U.S. stocks, which by mid-month had contracted almost 7%. August 14th registered the fourth largest point drop on record for the Dow, which collapsed more than 800 points amid discovery of an inverted yield curve in U.S. savings bond, a situation in which the yield on short-term bonds exceeds the yield on long-term bonds has preceded every economic recession in modern history. All right? But I want to draw you back to this quote up here where the gentleman said, there is no end in sight to this slowdown. The recession risk is real. Okay? So, and like we're going to get into, we read that definition of the manufacturing industry. All right, these companies or this industry produces everything. The farming industry, the construction industry, they produce those chemicals or not chemicals, those products necessary for other industries to be able to produce their products. Okay? This is like I said, this is the bloodline of the industry, all right, of the economy. As far as goods go. Okay? So now let me get I'm not going to read any more of this article. I mean, unless I come to something and then I will come back. Okay? But actually, matter of fact, there was a point I wanted to read here. Because this goes to show you all right, and I can't remember exactly where I've seen it. I mean, basically what I was wanting to say was, because if you read down here, and it actually stirred my memory up, it says right up here where it says the Fed, right there, it says the Fed last lowered interest rates on September 19th with the Federal Open Market Committee citing weakening exports, all right? Exports, and remember, this goes back again into this manufacturing industry, because these exports, majority of them are what? They're agricultural goods. Okay, they're food. Okay, they're products. All right. It says so they had lowered those interest rates, and it says in business investment as well as the recent tariff hikes as reason for the move. All right, so they lowered those interest rates to give the opportunity for more money to be loaned out. All right, to help these companies and to help out the modern day Egyptians. Okay, so now let's go into the book of Isaiah. I got it pulled up here. All right, the book of Isaiah chapter 19. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So real quick, I want to get that word burden. All right, because this is all these birth pains that are happening. All right, this is a burden that the Lord is bringing. What was that, 19? So let's just get that word real quick, and I'm gonna jump down a little bit in this chapter. It says the burden, and as you see what the word says, it's masa. All right, or more popularly known as pronounced massa. Okay. And that's self-explanatory. All right, burden. It says a load bearing, tribute. All right, lifting, carrying. All right, down to the Strong's definition, it says a burden, specifically tribute, or abstractly potterage, figuratively an utterance, chiefly a doom. All right, and there you go, chiefly a doom, man. What's going to be the end all be all of all this is going to be utter chaos, all right, destruction, utter doom. Okay, so now, because you get a lot of gainsayers that says, well, this is talking about Egypt. All right, well, no. So I'm going to show I'm going to go to a quick precept to show you what this is talking about. Let's just pull this out because I think it's in Revelation like 7 or 11. Let me see. All right, because this is talking about Babylon the Great, man. Let's get this. All right, kind of right here. Yep. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 8. I'm going to get right to the point. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What's that great city? Let's go to Revelation 17 real quick. All right. Which is that whore that sitteth upon the beast. All right. When you read this chapter, you see that it's talking about the whore that sitteth upon the beast and the dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. All right. So now when we go down here, verse 18, it says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And who's that? All right. Who's that? What's that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth? All right. So let's go back to that Revelation 11. Revelation chapter 11 and 8. All right. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. All right. That's that same great city in Revelation 17, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. All right. You see, so it said, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. All right. And what was Sodom known for? The meaning is in the name. All right. The meaning is in the name. If you don't have understanding, look up words. All right. It says, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And how was our Lord crucified? All right. They put up these images of Serapis Christus, depicting that as our Lord. All right. Yahushua. So going now back, because now we have an understanding of that meaning of why we're here in Isaiah chapter 19, where it says the burden of Egypt. Okay. So let's go ahead and read. It says Isaiah 19 and 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right. Verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what's getting ready to come to the streets of Babylon, man. All right. And if you didn't see Donald Trump mention this just yesterday, let's see. Let's look it up. All right. He spoke about this just yesterday. Here it is. For Trump, impeachment means civil war. All right. Let's read this again. Let's read this again in Isaiah 19. It says, and I will set the Egyptians. Who are the Egyptians? All right. The Babylonian citizens. All right. Okay. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what's getting ready to come. Donald Trump even said it, man. This goes to show you that these devils are just these higher up elites. All right, they're trying to bring about this chaos. All right, because what they have it on your dollar bills. Order out of chaos. All right. Order de chaos. I believe it says, if I'm not mistaken, but it means order out of chaos, because this is what they're trying to bring to the planet Earth. Even though, what, like it said in Revelation 17, let's go back to that real quick. Even though the elites are bringing this about because they think they're going to be able to bring their agenda out. Let's read this. I mean, there's plenty of scriptures to prove this, but it says Revelation 17 and 17, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Now, this is talking about those 10 horns, but there's plenty of scriptures that says the way of man is not of his own, but the Most High who directed his steps. And here, this is another example of why I brought this up, because it says, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will. Same thing with these elites. All right, the elites believe that they're going to bring about all this chaos so that in the end they can come out with what they want. All right, which is what the image of the beast. All right. So Isaiah 19 that was verse 2. All right, let's read verse 3 now. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." All right, that's self-explanatory, man. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof." We're beginning to see the spirit of this place failing, man. All right, you get these Edomites who believe that this place is gonna continue to become great, like Donald Trump said, make Babylon great again, right? The spirit of this place is failing, man. All right, so continuing on, verse 4 says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts." And that's talking about Yahushai. All right, I mean, you could put it twofold, but it's really talking about Yahushai, man. All right, because we've had you have certain brothers out there that have brought this out as it's talking about Trump. All right, it says, let me read that again. It says, "And the trumps will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts." But this is talking about Yahushai. All right, because Yahushai is going to come and he's going to bring what? He's going to bring chaos. All right. Verse 5, it says, "And the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be waste and dried up. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and the flags shall wither." All right, let me skip on down a little bit to get to my point. I don't want to read this whole chapter. All right. Well, let me just jump down to verse 8, and I'll start from there. All right, "The fishers shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament. And they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave net work shall be confounded. And they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, all that makes sluices and ponds for fish." Okay, and what's that talking about, man? That's talking about why are the fishers going to be mourning? Why are they they that cast angle going to be lamenting? Why are they that spread nets going to be languishing? Okay, because the industry's going to be collapsing, man. This economy is going to crash. All right, this economy, and then it said here, right here, it says U.S. manufacturing sector continues to slow down in September from the previous month, so it's been on a steady decline, falling to the lowest level since June of 2009. Now, keep in mind, since June of 2009, like it says here, at the tail end of the Great Recession that gutted the U.S. financial industry. That was at the end of the recession, so it wasn't even at its lowest point. Okay, it was just starting to try to make a little comeback back in the mid 2009. This is lower than that. All right, this is the lowest level since then, man. And this is, so to speak, we're not even in a recession as of yet. Okay, so it says, going back to Isaiah 19 verse 11, it says, "Surely the princes of Zoan are fools, the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings? Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what the Lord of hosts hath prepared upon Egypt." You see, so you got these so to say counselors, all right, these so to say advisors, all right, to Trump, but they're just leading this man astray, not astray, but leading it in the way of the Lord. All right, because it said what? "And let them know what the Lord of hosts hath purposed upon Egypt." It says, "The princes of Zoan are become fools. The princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof." Verse 14, and this is my point. "The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." You see, and that's what the Lord is bringing upon this place, man. All right, He's causing every work to fail. All right, every work to fail, man. Okay, This is, like I said, this is a part of that bloodline that pushes, that stimulates this economy, man. It keeps things moving. It helps to keep your roads paid. It produces the goods for that, man. Okay, it produces the goods to be able to create corn and all um, these other products that come of that. Okay, so going back to this, it says, verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. All right, you see, and that's what's getting ready to come, man. A time like no other. All right, this economy, this economic collapse that's getting ready to come is going to be the worst of the worst, man. People are going to be afraid. It's going to be worse than the Great Depression that happened in the 30s, man. The late 20s to the 30s, man. It's going to be a whole lot worse than that, man. People are not just going to be be able to go up to the the food banks and try to be able to get food, because there's not going to be any. All right, it's going to bring about famines, man. If you haven't been watching the news and seeing what's happening out in the Midwest with the agricultural industry out there, they're getting bashed over the head right now, man, for lack of a better term. All right, they're getting completely and utterly beaten up out there, man. Those guys are making chump change compared to what they were making, and not to mention the tariffs and how it's affecting them right now. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble," all right, we just read about that fear and how people are going to be afraid, right? It says, "And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease." What do grinders cease? All right, when you think about grinders, all right, you think about a great millstone, right? And what would you do with that great millstone? You would put meal down, or you would put whatever type of grain you were trying to make, and you would grind it down with the great millstone. You roll it back and forth, right? So you're doing work. It says, "And the grinders shall cease." So this is talking about that work stopping, man. All right, that economy crashing, man, because nobody's going to be working when they're not able to get paid, man. All right, you got people getting laid off all the time when a company can't when they're not making enough money, right? They have to start to lay people off. Well, guess what? It's gonna be so bad that no one's gonna be working out here, man. All right, it says because they are few. All right, you see, it's few people that are gonna be working, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, and the door shall be shut in the streets, and when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, it says, and the door shall be shut in the street. All right, because you're going to be going down to your local little plaza, and every store is going to be closed up, man. The windows are going to be with paper on them or wood. All right, and the lights are going to be turned off when you look in there, man. Okay, you see? Now there's another precept I wanted to get. I believe is in 2nd Ezra 13, maybe. Let me see. Just bear with me, Akim. Maybe it's not this one. Let me try typing this in. All right, chapter 6, Salakia. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22. It says, "And suddenly when the sown places shall be unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." All right, let's get what that word of that meaning storehouses is. Let's pull up the etymology on that. Let's see if we can get that. All right. Storehouse. From store and house. So let's look up store. All right, it says to supply or stock. All right, so what are these houses? All right, these buildings All right, these abodes that supply or stock products, man, that provide. Okay, what are those places that have these things? This is talking about your grocery stores, all right, your Macy's, your J.C. Penney's, your Costco's, your Sam's. All right, they're gonna be suddenly be found empty. Why? Because they're gonna be closed down because they weren't selling. Look at Sears, man. Sears is on a decline. They had to try to, I forget exactly who they bought out. I think it might have been Kmart. I'm not too certain, or maybe Kmart tried to buy them. But look at now, look at Kmart, man. Kmart is they're closing up everywhere, man. If there's one open, it's a miracle. And it says, "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid." You see? At that time shall friends fight one another against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the mountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. And why are people going to be fighting each other during this time? Because one, people are not going to have money to be able to buy food, and those that do have food, they're going to be trying to protect it with their dear life, man. Because people are going to be trying to rob each other for food, for clothing, for gasoline, because that's how it's going to start with that gas, man. All right, and we can keep going into Second Ezra chapter 15, but that's because it ties into that, you know this oh Salakia, it ties into all this. Okay, let me read this here. Second Ezra 15:11. It says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." Egypt, remember, going back to that great city that's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And that's what the Lord is bringing. This is what's causing all this collapse. That's what's going to cause the famine. All right, these plagues that the Lord is bringing. All right, the Most High shall bring upon it. It says, "They that till," this is verse 13. "They that till the ground shall mourn." Going to the Midwest. All right, those people are mourning right now, man. You have farmers' suicide rate going up exponentially, man. It says, "They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hell, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." Verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." All right. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be afraid." Okay. Verse 18, "For because of their pride," and in this place is the most proudest nation of all, "the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." You see? So all these movies that you be seeing on TV when all hell's gone crazy and people are attacking each other, you got the neighbor will go and break into his neighbor's house to try to find any type of money or food. Yeah, this is what's getting ready to come to the earth, man. This is what's getting ready to come to the planet Earth, man. All right? But, the point's been made. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth. Shalom as well to the Akwathium, the sisters who may be learning in quietness and meekness. Shalom.